Picture this for a second. You wake up tomorrow morning, grab your coffee, and hear on the news that someone just cracked the code on running cars with nothing but water. Not electric batteries that take forever to charge. Not gasoline that costs a fortune. Just plain, ordinary water from your kitchen tap. Sounds absolutely insane, right? Like something straight out of a sci-fi movie where flying cars zip around and robots do your laundry. But here's where things get seriously wild. This might actually be happening right now, and the company behind it isn't some random startup in a garage. We're talking about one of the biggest automotive giants on the planet, and they might have just figured out how to turn H2O into horsepower. Now, before you roll your eyes and click away thinking this is another one of those too good to be true stories, stick with me here. Because what I'm about to share with you could completely flip everything we know about transportation on its head. And I mean everything. We're not just talking about saving a few bucks at the pump or feeling good about helping the environment. This is about potentially ending our dependence on oil forever, making electric vehicle charging stations obsolete before they even finish building them all, and giving every single person on this planet access to cheap, clean transportation. Yeah, it's that big of a deal. So let's dive into this rabbit hole together, shall we? The automotive giant we're talking about has been quietly working on something that sounds like it belongs in a fantasy novel, an engine that literally runs on water. And no, I'm not talking about steam engines from the 1800s. This is cutting-edge technology that takes regular water, does some molecular magic with it, and boom, you've got yourself a working engine that could leave Tesla scrambling to figure out what just happened. Think about how crazy this sounds for a moment. Every major car company in the world is pouring billions into electric vehicles right now. They are building massive battery factories, setting up charging networks, and basically betting the farm on lithium-ion technology. Meanwhile, this Japanese powerhouse might be sitting on technology that makes all of that look like we were trying to reinvent the horse and buggy. It's like everyone else is playing checkers while these guys are playing three-dimensional chess in space. But how does this even work? I mean, we've all heard those urban legends about some inventor in the 1970s who built a water-powered car and then mysteriously disappeared, right? Those stories always felt like conspiracy theories. Yet here we are, with one of the most respected automotive companies in the world apparently making it happen for real. The secret sauce, if you will, is something called real-time electrolysis. Now don't worry, I'm not about to bore you with a chemistry lecture. Think of it this way, you know how water is made of hydrogen and oxygen? Well, these clever engineers figured out how to split those molecules apart super efficiently, grab the hydrogen, and use it to power an engine. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Traditional hydrogen cars, yes, those already exist, have this massive problem. They need these crazy high-pressure tanks to store hydrogen gas, which is basically like driving around with a potential bomb under your seat. Not exactly comforting, right? Plus, you need special fueling stations that cost millions to build, and there are like 12 of them in the entire country. But this water engine? It makes its own hydrogen on the spot. No storage needed. No special fueling stations. Just pour in some water and go. Imagine pulling up to literally any water source, your garden hose, a public fountain, even collected rainwater, and filling up your car in about the same time it takes to pump gas. No more hunting for charging stations. No more planning your road trips around where you can plug in. No more sitting in a parking lot for 45 minutes while your battery slowly fills up. You could drive from New York to Los Angeles and refuel at any rest stop with a water fountain. How insane is that? Now, I know what some of you are thinking. This has to be less powerful than regular engines, right? Wrong. Hydrogen actually packs about 3 times more energy per kilogram than gasoline. That means these water engines could potentially be more powerful than what you're driving right now. We're talking serious torque, serious speed, and all without a drop of gasoline or a single battery cell. There's even a story about an engineer who converted an old sedan to run on water and got between 30 and 40 miles per gallon of water. Let that sink in for a second. 40 miles from a gallon of water that costs basically nothing. But wait, there's more, and I promise I'm not trying to sell you anything here. The environmental impact of this technology is absolutely mind-blowing. Electric vehicles, as clean as they seem, have this dirty little secret. Those batteries require massive amounts of lithium, cobalt, and other rare metals that we literally tear out of the earth, destroying entire ecosystems in the process. Kids in some countries are working in dangerous mines to dig up these materials. It's not exactly the green revolution we were promised, is it? Water engines? They need none of that. Zero rare earth metals. Zero mining operations. Zero toxic chemicals. The only thing coming out of your tailpipe would be water vapor. Not carbon dioxide that's cooking our planet. Not those nasty nitrogen compounds that cause smog. Just clean water vapor that goes right back into the natural water cycle. It's like your car becomes part of nature's own recycling system. Your morning commute could literally be as clean as a mountain stream. And here's something that really gets me excited about this whole thing. Think about all those developing countries where people can barely afford a bicycle, let alone an electric vehicle. These water engines could be their ticket to affordable transportation. No need for expensive charging infrastructure. No need for complex power grids. Just water and an engine. It could lift millions of people out of poverty by giving them access to transportation for work, education, and healthcare. That's the kind of world-changing technology we're talking about here. The manufacturing side is equally revolutionary. You know how electric vehicle factories need all these specialized components? Massive battery packs that cost thousands of dollars? Rare earth magnets? Miles of copper wiring? Water engines could be built using mostly conventional manufacturing techniques. That means existing factories could be retrofitted instead of building entirely new facilities. The cost savings alone could make these vehicles incredibly affordable for average families. Maintenance would be a breeze too. Your local mechanic wouldn't need a degree in electrical engineering to fix your car. No more worrying about battery degradation or replacement costs that can run into 5 figures. These engines would have fewer moving parts than traditional engines and none of the complex electronics that make modern electric vehicles so expensive to repair. It's like we're simplifying cars while making them more advanced at the same time. How often does that happen? But let's be real for a minute here. If this technology is so amazing, why aren't we all driving water-powered cars already? Well, there are some serious challenges that need to be solved. The biggest one is efficiency. Splitting water molecules takes energy, and you need to get more energy out than you put in, or the whole thing falls apart. It's like trying to lift yourself up by your own bootstraps, theoretically impossible, but maybe, just maybe, these engineers found a loophole. The company working on this has apparently developed some next-level catalyst technology that makes the electrolysis process super efficient. They're using special electrode coatings that minimize energy loss and speed up hydrogen production. Combined with regenerative braking systems that capture energy when you slow down, plus ultracapacitors for energy storage, they might have cracked the code. It's like they are playing with the laws of physics and winning. There's also the durability question. Water and metal don't usually play nice together, just ask anyone who's dealt with rust. But using distilled water and special materials could solve that problem. The engines would need built-in filtration systems to handle impurities, but that's totally doable with today's technology. We filter water for drinking all the time. Filtering it for an engine isn't that much of a stretch. The skeptics are having a field day with this, of course. Water as fuel has been the holy grail of crackpot inventors for decades. But here's the thing, when a company with this much credibility and resources says they are working on something, you pay attention. They didn't become one of the world's largest automakers by chasing pipe dreams. They've got the engineers, the facilities, and the track record to potentially pull this off. Governments around the world are scrambling to figure out how to regulate something that doesn't even officially exist yet. Current vehicle standards are built around gasoline and battery-powered cars. Water engines would need entirely new frameworks. But with the pressure to reduce carbon emissions and meet climate goals, regulators might fast-track approval for technology this clean. Imagine being the country that says no to cars that run on water while everyone else is embracing them. Political suicide, right? The implications for global politics are staggering too. Oil-producing nations would lose their leverage overnight. Countries wouldn't need to import fuel anymore. Wars fought over oil resources would become pointless. The entire geopolitical landscape could shift in ways we can't even imagine. It's not just about cars, it's about reshaping the entire world order. Think about what this means for your daily life. No more checking gas prices every time you pass a station. No more budgeting hundreds of dollars a month for fuel. No more guilt about your carbon footprint every time you drive to work. Your transportation costs could drop to almost nothing. That extra money in your pocket could go toward your kids' education, your mortgage, or that vacation you've been putting off. It's economic freedom through technological innovation. The racing and performance world would go absolutely nuts for this technology too. Imagine race cars that never need to pit for fuel, just a quick water top-up. The power-to-weight ratio would be incredible without heavy battery packs or large fuel tanks. We could see performance levels that make today's supercars look like golf carts. And all of it would be clean, sustainable racing that doesn't contribute to climate change. NASCAR running on water? Formula One cars powered by H2O? The future of motorsports could be both faster and cleaner than ever before. Emergency services and disaster relief would be transformed as well. Imagine ambulances and fire trucks that can refuel from any water source during natural disasters when gas stations are down. Search and rescue vehicles that can operate indefinitely in remote areas as long as there's a stream or lake nearby. The military applications are obvious too. Vehicles that don't need vulnerable fuel supply lines could change how conflicts are fought. Though hopefully, with less competition for oil resources, there would be fewer conflicts to begin with. The aviation industry is watching this closely too. If you can power a car with water, why not a plane? Imagine flying across the ocean in an aircraft that produces nothing but water vapor. No more jet fuel emissions at 30,000 feet. No more noise pollution from traditional engines. Air travel could become as clean as electric trains but without the need for tracks or overhead wires. The sky's literally the limit here. Ships and boats could be revolutionized overnight. The ocean shipping industry is one of the biggest polluters on the planet, burning the dirtiest fuel imaginable. Water-powered engines could clean up international trade while having unlimited fuel supply from the very ocean they are sailing on. Cruise ships could become actually eco-friendly instead of just pretending to be. Fishing boats could operate without polluting the very waters they depend on for their livelihood. Even your lawnmower could run on water. Your generator during power outages. Construction equipment. Farm tractors. Basically, anything with an engine could potentially be converted to run on water. The cumulative environmental impact would be like taking billions of cars off the road while actually keeping them on the road. It's the kind of paradox that makes environmental scientists giddy with excitement. The economic disruption would be massive, though. Think about all those jobs in the oil industry. Gas station workers. Refinery employees. Pipeline contractors. They'd all need to find new work. But history shows us that technological revolutions create more jobs than they destroy. We'd need people to build these new engines, maintain them, develop the technology further. Water treatment specialists would be in huge demand. Innovation drives economic growth, even when it's disruptive. Insurance companies would need to completely restructure their models. How do you assess risk for a vehicle that can't explode like a gas car or catch fire like some electric vehicles have been known to do? Accident rates might plummet with simpler, more reliable vehicles on the road. Your insurance premiums could drop significantly. That's even more money back in your pocket every month. The real estate market could shift too. Properties near charging stations or gas stations wouldn't have that advantage anymore. But homes with good water access or storage capacity might become more valuable. Garage design could change to accommodate water storage and filtration systems. Urban planning would need to account for water refueling infrastructure instead of gas stations or charging networks. Cities could become cleaner, quieter, and more livable. Education systems would need to adapt as well. Mechanical engineering programs would shift focus from traditional combustion and electric powertrains to water-based systems. A whole new generation of engineers would need training in this technology. Research universities would compete to advance the science further. We could see a renaissance in automotive engineering education. The social impact might be the most profound of all. Imagine explaining to your grandkids that people used to fight wars over oil. That cities used to be choked with smog from car exhaust. That people spent significant portions of their income just to fuel their vehicles. They'd look at you like you were describing the Stone Age. Because in a way, you would be. This technology could mark the boundary between the fossil fuel age and something entirely new. But here's the million-dollar question: when will we actually see this on the market? If the rumors are true and this company has working prototypes, we could be looking at commercial vehicles within the next 5 to 10 years. That might sound like a long time, but in automotive terms, that's lightning fast. Most new technologies take decades to go from concept to consumer. This could be in your driveway before your kids graduate high school. The first models would probably be expensive, limited production vehicles for early adopters. But as manufacturing scales up and costs come down, water-powered cars could become cheaper than conventional vehicles. We're potentially looking at sub-$10,000 new cars that cost virtually nothing to operate. That's not just revolutionary, it's economically liberating for billions of people worldwide. Competition would heat up fast. Once one major manufacturer proves this works, everyone else will scramble to develop their own versions. We could see a new automotive arms race, but instead of competing on horsepower or battery range, companies would compete on water efficiency and refueling convenience. The consumer would be the ultimate winner, with better, cheaper, cleaner vehicles hitting the market every year. Now, I've got to level with you about something. There's always the possibility that this technology hits an insurmountable wall. Maybe the physics just don't work out. Maybe the cost never becomes competitive. Maybe oil companies and electric vehicle manufacturers team up to suppress it. History is littered with promising technologies that never made it to market. But something feels different about this one. The timing is right. The technology is mature enough. The world is desperate for exactly this kind of solution. Climate change isn't waiting for us to figure things out. Every day we pump more carbon into the atmosphere is another day closer to irreversible damage. Water-powered engines could be our get-out-of-jail-free card. A way to maintain our mobile lifestyle while actually reversing environmental damage. It's the have-your-cake-and-eat-it-too solution we've been searching for. So what should you do with this information? First, don't run out and cancel your electric vehicle order just yet. This technology, while promising, isn't commercially available. But do keep your eyes open. Watch for announcements from major automotive companies. Pay attention to developments in hydrogen and water-based technologies. Be ready to be an early adopter if this becomes real. Because the first people to embrace world-changing technology are usually the ones who benefit most. More importantly, share this possibility with others. The more people know about potential breakthrough technologies, the more pressure there is to develop them. Public demand drives innovation. If enough people say they want water-powered cars, companies will race to deliver them. Your voice, combined with millions of others, could help make this future a reality. Think about what kind of world you want to leave for the next generation. One where they are still fighting over oil and lithium? Or one where the most valuable resource for transportation is something that falls from the sky? The choice might be ours to make, and it might come sooner than we think. This isn't just about cars, really. It's about proving that human ingenuity can solve our biggest challenges. That we don't have to choose between modern convenience and environmental responsibility. That the future can be both amazing and sustainable. Water-powered engines might just be the proof we need that we're capable of saving ourselves from ourselves. So next time you're stuck in traffic, breathing in exhaust fumes, spending your hard-earned money at the gas pump, or waiting for your electric car to charge, remember that there might be a better way coming. A way that seems impossible today but could be ordinary tomorrow. A way that turns the most abundant resource on our planet into the fuel for our future. And hey, if you found this as mind-blowing as I did, share it with someone who needs to hear about it. Subscribe if you want to stay updated on more game-changing technologies that could reshape our world. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss when this water-powered revolution actually happens. Because trust me, when it does, you'll want to be among the first to know. The future is coming faster than we think, and it might just be powered by the same stuff you brush your teeth with every morning. How's that for a plot twist in the story of human transportation?